Hello everyone, Dr. David Perlmutter here. We live in a country where there are more and more type 2 diabetics, and there's no question that lifestyle choices are playing a very important role in terms of that disease. My interest in type 2 diabetes really goes well beyond just the fact that people become diabetic, but we look at other things that tend to go along with diabetes, the effects upon, for example, the kidneys, the effects upon the heart in terms of heart disease risk, and certainly the effects upon the brain, knowing that type 2 diabetics may have as much as a 4-fold increased risk for becoming an Alzheimer's patient as well. So that said, lifestyle is important, and in looking at individuals who are already type 2 diabetic, or at least pre-diabetic, by virtue of their laboratory assessment, primarily looking at their average blood sugar, known as the hemoglobin A1C, the question becomes, yes, these individuals are often on medication, but what should they be doing in terms of their dietary choices? Well, for a long time, the low-fat diet, for whatever reason, was the recommendation by large influential organizations. It doesn't really seem to make sense that individuals with diabetes should be on a diet that is high in carbohydrates, which is what the low-fat diet is. Now we're beginning to really get traction in terms of the global recognition that a lower carbohydrate diet is definitely the way to go in terms of an adjunctive treatment, meaning along with medication if need be, for type 2 diabetes. The question is, how low should you go? A new study that just appeared in the journal Nutrition and Diabetes is a 12-month study that compared a moderate carbohydrate reduction diet versus a very, very low carbohydrate diet in individuals who were overweight, as well as had either type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes. So they were on, kind of the standard lower carbohydrate diet, or a much, much lower diet in terms of carbohydrate that actually pushed these individuals, those who were part of that arm, into ketosis. And what they found was really quite interesting. And let me just read to you the results of the study. In this 12-month trial, adults with elevated A1C and body weight elevation as well, who are assigned to the very low carbohydrate ketogenic diet, had greater reductions in their average blood sugar, the A1C. They lost more weight, which is really important. I'll talk about that in just a moment, and reduced more medications than those instructed to follow the other diet, the moderate carbohydrate restricted diet. The reason that weight loss is so important has to do with the fact that adding excess poundage when you're diabetic adds insult to injury, that issues with respect to brain volume decline are much more aggressive in diabetics who are also overweight, even though when you compare the two groups, they may have the same blood sugar and A1C values. Even though those values are the same, those individuals who have greater body fat are at much greater risk for brain degeneration in terms of brain matter degeneration, which ultimately proves to be certainly quite detrimental. Why is that? It may well have to do with higher levels of inflammatory chemicals within the body. Well, please understand that those inflammatory chemicals don't just target the brain, but they are systemic. They contribute to things like heart disease and kidney failure and many of the issues that are so common in diabetics, including the vasculopathy, or the narrowing of the blood vessels that causes diabetics to have issues with losing extremities, for example. So the message here is, at least according to this study, that lower carbohydrates to the point of getting into ketosis seems to be significantly advantageous, not to mention the fact that, these individuals were by and large on medication. So this is looking at diet as an adjunct or a tag-along, certainly playing an important role in management of type 2 diabetes. Hope you enjoyed the information. I'm Dr. David Perlmutter. Bye for now.